Now we're ready to create a profile of our centerline. First the ground profile, then we'll do the proposed profile. So continuing in our training guide for the modeler, we're on page 1-18. And we'll step through the steps that create the ground line profile along our center line, which will take us to the top of page 120. We're going to use a tool called Draw Profile, which allows me to draw profile graphics anywhere in the design file that I desire and related to an alignment. And I'll be able to draw things like surface information, things that are in COGO, and also project information to a profile. So let's start with inside our CAD file. We want to make sure that we're back in Modeler. So I've gone ahead and entered back into my Modeler project. I'm going to go ahead and turn the display off for now. And I'm going to open up another view window. And that'll be the view window that I plot the profile in. Now the tool that I'm interested in accessing is under Civil, Profiles, Draw Profiles. And what it allows me to do, again, is to draw a profile along an alignment. So I'm going to select the job, the GPK file. That's the database we stored the alignment in. The name of the chain from that database was called ntran. Now, first thing I have to do before I access any of the drawing tools is to place a cell in the file that represents the area of the profile. And in that cell there'll be some data kind of stored in the cell that gives it some intelligence. So I'm going to grab this placement tool, profile cell control, and I'm going to create a profile cell and place it in view number 2. Right now I can see a list of profile cells, and obviously there's none at this point, so I'm going to place one in view 2. So I click the place icon. I move over into view 2. I've already got the information on my cursor. Now before I place it, I can see that it's got information on the cursor, like the job number 200, the name of the chain, 0.0000, that's the elevation, scale or station information, 0 is the station, and then scale 10:1. And that's being read from my placement dialog. So what I want to do before I place it is I want to make sure that's set to something appropriate for my my elevation range that I'm going to have my profile in, and that would be 5240 would be a good. The scale, if I want, how far I want the cell to extend above and below the x-axis, if you will. So if I zoom out a little bit, you can see the dashed dotted line extending below and above the x-axis. And that's what the top delta, bottom delta is. So I'll go ahead and place that into view. Once I place it, I can see that we see the cell in the file. And there's the information about the cell. I can remove it if I want. I'm going to close that, and now back at the Draw Profile dialog, I have access to information for plotting. Now what I want to plot right now is the ground surface information. I can do that via the TIN file, or since I'm opening up my site project, I can use an object or model base or something like that. The model base being the ground surface. So TIN file, I could either choose ground.tin, I could use model base for tower, that would be the ground surface, or I can just say object and ground 1. All those would be essentially the same. So we'll do model base. The model base was tower, and I'm going to go ahead and method will be triangles. I'm going to have it pick up ground information everywhere it crosses it. The center line crosses the triangle line. And I can have it draw the profile graphic on a certain level, weight, and color. So I just want to go ahead and double click on that, and choose a particular level, weight, and color. And I believe I have a level here called EX Pro Centerline. And I have color by level, style by level, weight by level. The rest of the dialog is set up correctly, but if I wanted, I could say, let's only plot the profile from a certain station to another station. Plot the void areas different colors. I can have it sample or not plot along the center line. So for example, right now it's going to be picking up elevation along the center line. But if I wanted to offset that horizontally, I could and have it pick up information left or right of the center line, ground information. And I also could offset vertically as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to my list, and it immediately will plot the surface. And you can not have it draw or have it draw, so you could build a list of several items here. Some can be drawn and some not. For example, I could change this to, let's say, existing ground left, and I could say let's get the existing ground minus 12 feet to the left, and then add that, and you would see it plot a yellow line 12 feet to the left. That's what the ground looks like. And I could do something like, let's do it to the right now. This time I'll go plus 12 and add it, so I can kind of see different information. And again, if I don't want that turned on, I just turn it off, uncheck them, and it's not being drawn. So you can see the profile is drawn in side view window 2, and I can access it. So now that I have the existing ground, I will be able to come back now and kind of design what I want my proposed profile to look like.